Alright, hi. How are you doing? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Selenium to script a website or to automate a website. Hopefully, on our last lecture, we did talk about request and beautiful soup, how to use request and beautiful soup to script a website. But today, we are going to work with Selenium, how you can script a website with the use of Selenium. How you can click on a button, navigate from one section to another sections of a website using Selenium. Anytime we are talking about Selenium, then we are talking about a website that is dynamic. We are talking about working with that kind of website. Example, I have a page on Facebook. Normally around 8 a.m. I will go to my page. I had to upload a new post on a daily basis. I've been doing this time without number over and over and over and over. Anytime I wake up in the morning, the very first thing that I have to do is to prepare the post. Then around 8 a.m., then I'll post it. Now, with that stress I've been passing through since all these days, I now want to bring it to an end by the use of software. I just want to create a bot. I want to write a code, a program that will be doing the task instead of me handling the task. I'm doing the task manually, so it is wasting my time and it is taking my time. So I want a code, a program written that will be helping me to do the stuff. So in this case, we make use of what? Selenium to automate the browser. I will just instruct my code to that go to Facebook, log into my account. After you log into my account, go to my page and copy this post and paste it inside the post sections. Then you do what? You post the post that I write. That is how it works. And on a daily basis, it will help me to be posting the post instead of me. It will help me to be posting my content instead of me going there over and over and over. Anytime you want to automate something that is boring to us, just automate the boring stuff by the use of what? Selenium. So, if you go through the write up about Selenium, you will understand the basic use of Selenium, and that is not where we are going to. If you want to deal with Selenium to automate a browser or any page or any website, I would recommend you go for Python or JavaScript. Python is a scripting language, whilst JavaScript is also a scripting language. So they are very easy to use, and they are very easy to use with Selenium. And this Selenium framework has something that is specific. If I create a bot for you, I will have to send the bot to you, and you have to be running the bot by yourself. If I create it with a language like C sharp, that means that you need to have some C sharp package installed on your PC, which is somehow hard for some people. But in case I use Python, just have to install Python and the libraries, and that's all. And that is all. So, enough of the talking. Let's quickly roll back to Selenium and see what Selenium can do and how we can actually use Selenium to handle the task. Let's go to our Python code. This is my terminal. I've downloaded my own Selenium. But in case you also want to download your own Selenium, you just have to do it the normal way we used to do it. Then you have to type pip install Selenium, then press enter. So hopefully I've already downloaded Selenium on my PC, and that's the reason why it is telling that the requirement are already satisfied, since I already have it installed. In your own case, if you don't have Selenium installed on your PC, then this program is going to install Selenium for you. After you are done with installing the Selenium, the next thing that you're supposed to do is to install a WebDriver manager. When I'm talking about Selenium, I'm telling you guys that we really want to automate a browser. We want to automate a website. But before you can go to that website, you need a web browser. This is a web browser. Chrome is a web browser. And we have Firefox also. We have Edge also. These are web browsers that we use to surf the internet. Before we can use our Selenium have to be able to access the website with the help of our what? Our driver. And this is our driver. So in that case, we used to install a driver manually. You can install Chrome driver, you can download Chrome driver. If you download Chrome driver, the Chrome driver that you installed must be the same with the versions of the Chrome you are using on your PC. If I click on this, you see that we have different versions of what? Chrome driver. We have Chrome driver version 99, 98, and if I come down here to my Chrome and I go to about Google Chrome, you see that I'm using Chrome 99.0.4844.1.51. That is the versions of Chrome that I'm using. If I really want to use Chrome driver in my work also, I really have to download the Chrome driver that is compatible with this version. If it is not compatible, it is not going to work. But let's think about something. What if the Chrome version that I'm using is different from the Chrome driver that my client is using? In that case, I'm going to have a little problem. Let's assume that I'm using Chrome driver version 99 and my client is using Chrome driver version 92. You know, the project is going to work on my PC perfectly. But once I send the code to my client so that I'll be able to run the code, he is going to have a problem running the code because the Chrome driver that I used in my code is quite different from the one that he is using. In this case, to make it much more easier for both me and the client, so that I won't be able to install some things manually, then we have a package called WebDriver Manager in Python. We have a library called WebDriver Manager. This WebDriver Manager is going to handle the task in case of a programmer. We don't really have to be installing our Chrome driver over and over and over again. Once you have Chrome driver installed on your PC, you just have to call it in your code. Anytime you run the code, it will first go to the PC that is running the code and check for the Chrome driver, check for its versions. If the Chrome driver that is inside it is any version, it will then navigate to the web page and download the version that is compatible with that Chrome that is on that PC. And believe me, it is not working with just only Chrome. It is working with Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Safari, and others browser also. So it has saved our time and make it much more easier for us to automate our browser. So in that case, we really have to install this. So let's go back to our terminal and type pip install WebDriver Manager. So you will see that it is telling me that It has already been installed because I already have it on my PC. So let's get started with our code. So after we are done installing the libraries, then the next thing is to import the necessary libraries in my code. Okay, let me quickly check this. Alright, since we are done importing the necessary package, this WebDriver is used to create an instance of a driver of our web browser. We are going to use this WebDriver to create an instance. And these Chrome options are the options that we want to add to our Chrome. Either you want to open your Chrome in an incognito mode, or you want it to be to open in a normal mode. This is the options that you are going to use to specify it. And this key is a class that is used to send a keyboard keys on your code. If you want to send an enter key, then you are going to use this key. If you want to send control key, then you are going to use these keys. This module is mainly used for sending keys, and this is by is used to select elements. If you remember, while we are dealing with request, we select our element by their tag name, by their classes, but in request we use find or select one. But in Selenium, we use select element by this so and that. That by is this. By expert, by class name, by tag, or any other thing that we want to use to select our browser. And we have a WebDriver width. This WebDriver width is used in case we have we want to do, let's assume that we want to log into a website. Anytime we load the website, it's going to take a few minutes before it's finished loading. Then we want our browser, our code to wait until the browser finish loading. Then we will use this to make the driver wait. Are you with me? That is the main functions of WebDriver wait. And we have the select. Anytime you want to select, you will encounter a select options in your code. Then you make use of select to work with it. So, and we have our action chains. It is used to move a mouse. For mouse movement, you can use it to move a mouse from this place to another place. You can use it to link two or more things together. And this expected condition is mainly used when you are expecting something. Like, oh, this, if you notice, okay, this is AZ developer folder, and I run my browser and I want it to be okay. If wait, I want my code to wait until this AZ developer is visible. Then, if it is visible, click on it. Anytime this AZ developer is visible, believe me or not, this my code is going to click on what? AZ developer. And if I say, oh, anytime it is clicked, then navigate down and click on another thing. Believe me or not, it is going to do that. So we use expected condition to tell our code what we really expect it to do. So I think you understand the libraries, and okay, let me import fine also. So to create our Chrome driver, we create let me say a driver equals to, then you create an instance of a Chrome, but it is going to take some parameters. Part of the parameters that it is going to take is this. We have the executable part, which means your Chrome driver that you want to use must be the first thing that you will put in the Chrome instance that you want to make. Are you with me? Then it can take all these options, service that you want to use, and any other thing. So in this case, I can come down here and say, let me import my WebDriver manager. So the browser that I'm using is Chrome. So I'm selecting Chrome in my WebDriver manager. If you want to use Firefox, you select Firefox. So that is just it. Then you can now come down here and call it. Then it has a function inside it which is called install. So once I create this, it will help me to create an instance of a browser that I can use to run my code. So this driver is now our new web driver. We have made the instance now, then we can use it to run a code. Let me just say driver.get. What are we getting? So let me use time to sleep it for a while and see how our code is going to run. Let's sleep it for 60 seconds. So I'll go inside my tutorial. You see that it helped me to install the latest Chrome version by itself. Chrome driver by itself. What is going on? It seems that my internet connection is doing anyhow. Let me check my internet connection. So okay, let me use in case I forgot, is this using this in our Chrome has been depreciated, so instead we use service. So you import your service, and here you say your service equals to service. Make an instance, then you copy your this thing inside this service that you want it to able to run your code. Then service is going to be equals to service. Let me run my code again and check what is going on. It seems that my Ethernet connection is doing anyhow. Okay, and that is it. You see that it opens a new Chrome instance for me, a new Chrome browser. This is a Selenium, and if you notice, it says Chrome is being controlled by what? An automated text software. It is being controlled by automated text software. Let's now assume that we really want to search something on Google with the use of this. Then we have to use our inspector again to inspect how we really want to search on Google. Let's go back to this page and let's try to search something on Google. This is the search button and we can really select it. So this is the input of the search. So the input have a class name or GEFID. Let's copy it and search for it. We are getting only one result, which means that our input name, class name is this. Let's refresh the page in case the page is dynamic. Who knows? So that we can be able to confirm that the page is not dynamic. As you can see, the class name is not changing, which means that if we are able to select our element using this class name, then we are really going to be able to select this. So I'm going to select using the experts like I normally use. So in case of Selenium, this is how we use expert. It is somehow different from, oh sorry, it is an input, not a div. So now we are able to select this. Let's copy this and go back to our code. After our driver move to www.google.com, it's going to open this for us, and we want to insert a text into our search tab. Then click on enter to search for that keyword. Then come back here and say search. You can just say is equals to driver dot find element. When we say to find element, then by what? By expert. We want to use expert to find the element. And oh sorry, I haven't copied this thing. So I want to find the element by the expert, and If we are able to select this successfully, our code is really going to work. After this, after we are able to select it, then we want to send a text to this. Then I will just say anytime you want to send a key to an input tag in Selenium, we use send keys. Please note, you can only send a text inside an input tag, a text area tag that are used to accept input normally, but you cannot send text to a div. Neither can you send a text to a paragraph nor span. You can only send text to an input. I repeat it. Please note it down in case you meet up with a page that doesn't use Selenium input that doesn't use input to accept values from users. We use send keys with just ordinary input or text area. Anything that is used to accept input in our HTML, we can use send keys to send keys to them, to send values to them. So in this case, I want to send a value. And what is the value that I want to send? I want to send, okay, sprite star. I just want to send sprite star to my code. And after it sends the sprite star to the code, I want to click on enter button. I told you that this key is mainly used to do that. So I'm going to send another key, which is what? Keys dot enter. So after that, I'm going to sleep for a while and see what is going to bring for us. Let's quickly try that. Let's run our code. And that's it. You see that it's worked out perfectly. So once it click on the code, it pastes the content that we put in send key, it send it to our input and it click on enter. So now we have our result, search result. Let's now assume that in this search result we want to get the URL of the result. Are you with me? We want to get the URL of this result so that we can be able to move much more forward. We want to be accessing this page one after the other. So in this case, let's try and go back to our code and inspect this so that we'll be able to get all the links that are inside this page. Let's go to let's also search for sprite star, and here we are. So we are going to inspect the page also. So if I click on inspect, you notice one thing, that the link is also hidden in this text. If we try to select it, can we be able to select more than one classes? We only see that there are two and they are only linked to this class alone. So that is not going to work. Let's try and over on this and inspect the link. In this link, you will see that we have a tag, and before that a tag, we have a class, which is this. This div contain this class name. So if we try and select the class name of this div, can we be able to select as much as possible? Yeah, we select the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and that's just it. With this, we are able to select more than what? More than one functions. And what we really need inside them, is their a tag, and that a tag is normally located inside the div tag that we select. So let's use our expert again to do the task. Let's use our expert. Then we have to do this. Then it is class name that we want to use. The class name is equals to this. Then close it up. Then slash what? Then giving a forward slash and your a tag. You see that it is going to select all the links that is inside the page. So let's copy this and go back to our code and do the necessary thing. So we can just allow the code to sleep for a while so that it will be able to search for what we want it to search for. Let's just allow it to sleep for 2 milliseconds. Then after it finished sleeping, let's find all links. Find links. So like we used before, we call our driver dot find elements. So after we find elements, in this case, we are trying to find more than one element. We are not going to use find element. We are going to use find elements since we have more than one element. In this case, we have one element, but this we have more than one element. So our result is going to be a list. If you check, our result is going to be a list, not a string like this. This is just going to return a web element, but this one is going to return a web element that is inside a list. So now if we do this, let's just print our find links. Believe me, it's not going to print all the links for us. It's not going to print the links. It's just going to print the web element of Selenium if we do this, but it's worth doing it. So after we do it, then we'll move forward so that we know how everything works specifically. So let's run the code and check what is going to print for us. And this is just it. If you notice, we have something in a list. This is the list. It starts from A to A. And what he is trying to do is giving us the list of all the tag that was found while our Selenium search for the tag we told it to search for. So the first element is this, and the second one is this, followed by the third one, followed by the fourth one. These are all their WebDriver and web elements. This is their web elements, but this is not what we need. We don't need their web element. We need that specific links. So in order to get the links, we really have to put something in our code. Let's go back to the code. So then we have to look through this. So if we want to look through this, you can just say for link in find links. Then let me create a list of links that is going to accept our link. So you can just say for link in links, list links dot append what? to append all our link dot get attributes. What attribute are we trying to get? href. Yes, we are trying to get the attribute href. Anytime you want to get an attribute of a tag in Selenium, you can use this get attributes. If you notice, the attribute that contain the links that we want to visit is href. So in this case, we just select this attribute. If you select this attribute, it's going to return its value to us. So it should append it, and after it finish everything, then it should print the links to us. So I think you understand the code. The code is going to, this is an empty list that has nothing. The code is going to loop through the find links anytime. The first loop, it will find the first element. Then I told the code to, sorry, there's, okay, yeah, I told my links, which is an empty list, to append what? The result of link.get attribute, the first href of the first element. It is going to append it inside my list. Then it will go over and run again and get the next link, and we get its attribute and add it inside my links. So after everything is done, I'll go outside the loop and print the total result. So let's quickly run it and check the output. And if you notice, we already have our link inside this page. This is the first link, this is the second link, this is the third link, this is the fourth link, this is the fifth link, sixth, seventh link, and this is the eighth, and this is the ninth link. And that is just it. We are able to get all the links. But what if we want to access all the pages? Since we are able to get all the links, we should be able to access all the page also. We are going to access all the page, and that is where I'm going to stop for this section, and I'm going to give you an assignment. In the next section, we are going to do a real example. We are using Google as an example right now, so we are going to take a project and use it as an example to do something great using Selenium. So let's quickly go back to our code and try to keep accessing each page one after the other, and after that we are done for today. So in this case, instead of us to be appending the results, we can just say make our code should be visiting the link. So we can just call our driver to get what? The link. In case there is something that we don't want, there is a white space, we want to remove the white space. So anytime it is getting the link, okay, let's just leave it that way. Let's leave it like that. Let's leave that one. Then let's come out of this. Let's loop our links and get it. For URL in links, then our driver should get the URL. So anytime it is getting the URL, it should sleep on that website for 5 minutes, and after that it should move to the next website and the next website and the next website. So when it reaches the last website, it should sleep for 2 seconds before it quits the browser. This driver.quit is used to quit the browser, and it is necessary if you don't want Selenium to overload the memory of your PC. So let's run our code and check it out. Oh, connection error. Sorry, it seems that something's wrong with my connection. Good. It accessed the first page. This is the first website. This is the second website, which is Instagram. This is the next website, which is a LinkedIn of Spryster. My internet connection is really, really bad. My internet connection is really bad. It's slowing the code. So that is the end for today's class. My internet connection is making it much more slower. So that is the end of today's class. You are able to see that it is moving from one page to another. After it finished loading this one, it will move to the next one and the next one. And I think let me check where that linked ID is. Hmm. Let's check where that linked ID is. Hmm. Okay, this is the linked ID. It is here and we still have some more links. So hopefully I'm going to stop the code here since my network is not that good and I don't want it to be wasting our time. So if you want to, I'm going to give you an assignment, and the assignment I'm going to give you is going to be a little advance of this. So I want you to So this is where I'm going to end the video. Try to work on it. Try to use Selenium to navigate to Facebook. Try to log in with your details and click on login button and see if it is going to log into your Facebook account. If it's really log into your Facebook account, then you have really know the basic of Selenium. I would like it if you try and do this. It will be very good for your own, also for your own interest also, since you have a good interest in Selenium. It will be good to try some few things. If you try it out, you'll be able to know where your stand is. Maybe there are some things that you missed during the lecture that you will go back to, and there are some few questions that you want to ask. If you have any question that you want to ask, please do leave me a questions. Please send the questions to me. I'm going to answer the questions. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.